Hello and welcome back to the PNN. My name is Parker Tapp. Today is day 8 of our 30-day challenge, and today we are talking about something I found on my Darren Daily this morning. For those of you who don't know, Darren Hardy is a entrepreneur, businessman, and self-development coach who does daily videos with pieces of life advice. And I found the ones he had this morning particularly poignant. Basically, the 7 signs your life is out of whack. And I thought I'd share them with you today. So, let us begin. So, according to Darren, there's 7 signs that tell you your life is out of whack. 1, your gym bag is dusty, meaning you haven't exercised in over a week. You are self-medicating. You're eating, spending, or basically doing anything in excess as part of a coping measure for the stress you're under. You're having trouble paying attention and being present with people, so basically a squirrel brain. 4th, you are leaving people hanging, people you love, care about, friends, family. You have dozens of messages from text, phone calls, emails, etc., and you haven't returned them. And, many of these are probably a week or 2 old. 5, not taking enough time for your own rest and recovery. You're basically working constantly, or your mind is always running, which isn't very healthy and can often lead you to being stressed out and forcing you to self-medicate and not exercise, and etc. You can notice how almost all of these tie into similar themes. 6, you have a short fuse and anger easily. Basically, someone does something minor, like you're spilling a glass of water or something, and you blow up. And you get anger very easily over it. And then 7, you're snarky when people are talking about something positive that has happened to them or that they are doing. So say someone's talking about their cooking class, and you come back with snarky remarks saying, like, do you ever work? Or they're talking about a wonderful date that they went on, and you say a snarky remark about how it's doomed to fail or something like that. So these are the signs that your life really isn't in balance and that you need to really reevaluate your priorities and readjust and recenter yourself spiritually, morally, physically. So I came up with a list of tips that might help you along your journey and to help you resolve some of the signs. One is practice mindfulness to increase focus. We have a video about that earlier on in this series, so I advise you go check that out. Cut out distractions, especially like emails and phone. Set designated times when you check them throughout the day so you're not constantly on them. And some phones have pre-programmed apps or settings that can help you monitor your screen usage and prevent you from getting easily distracted by focusing on particular things that are necessary at that time. Like in the morning, say you have a news summary. At lunch, you listen to an audiobook, and then in the evening, you answer texts and phone calls. And the app will monitor and control what you're using so you're not distracted on social media or something like the like. 3rd, find a positive stress reliefs. Exercising, reading, punching bag, cooking, just anything that allows you to release your stress in some positive or constructive manner. Next, having an accountability journal. I think journaling is one of the most important keys in someone's mental health. It allows you to write down everything that you're feeling and confide in without having to listen necessarily to other people. It allows you to think through it on your own and doesn't put you under the stress of having to justify yourself with other people or talk with other people who may have a difference of opinion. It just allows you to write the way you want it, your side of the story, no questions asked, and it allows you to think things through more clearly as well by writing it down. It's something that when you come back to it, did you do what you wrote down and set out to do, or improve upon what you said you were going to improve upon? Did you fix what you were saying you were going to fix? It provides a tangible accountability because it's written for all time to see. Uh, make time to stay in touch with yourself and those who mean most to you. So making time to stay in touch with yourself, meditate, take some free time for yourself. When trying to stay in touch with other people, like set designated times or days where you contact particular people so that you can stay in touch with them, as well as respond to them. Set certain times during the day where you respond to emails, texts, and phone calls, so you're not always being distracted by them, but also you don't ignore them and 2 or 3 weeks go by and people start thinking that you're dead. Next, set aside some personal time for your relaxation benefit. Whenever I'm scheduling my calendar, I always set aside some time for my own relaxation. I typically read, or as a typical teenage guy does, play video games. So something that brings you enjoyment. There's a rule when it comes to that. 3 hobbies: one to make you healthy, one to make you money, and one to bring you just pure enjoyment. So we'll probably go into that later in a different video, but just a good idea to get your brain thinking on what you can do for your own personal relaxation and benefit. And also emphasize that you do a good mixture of both with friends and some alone time, because in the day-to-day humdrum, we often get worn down both emotionally, physically, and mentally. So taking some time just to do something by yourself alone to sort of reset and be with yourself, whether it's meditating, reading, journaling, or playing video games, or going for a walk or something like that. Just something for you to focus on yourself and what you're thinking and feeling is vitally important. Something that brings you joy that may not necessarily bring what your friends joy. Me personally, I'm a big Star Trek fan, and I've binge watched all the Star Trek series, but I wouldn't force any of my friends to watch it because they absolutely despise Star Trek, which I think is a fault, but not one I'm going to end my friendship over. So then we have put yourself in the other's shoes. So if you're thinking about doing a snarky remark or retorting angrily at someone after they've done something, take a moment, pause, take a deep breath in, take a deep breath out, and put yourself in their other shoes. How do you think they would feel if? How do you think you would feel if they responded in a similar manner? Like, say, you spilled a glass of water and they got really angry at you, or you were talking about, say, your skiing trip or your basketball game, and all of a sudden they came back with a snarky remark saying, "Don't you ever do your homework," or something like that. Instead, that extra 10, 15 seconds of you putting yourself in the other person's shoes and acknowledging what they would feel and think often diffuses the situation, both in terms of your temper and your snarky remark, and allows you to resolve the situation without it necessarily turning into an argument or hurting anyone's feelings. So that's it for today. Again, I highly advise Darren Hardy and his Darren Daily Productions, although it's often focused on business related and adult related topics and heavily focused on people who are running their own businesses or are part of a business and employee, like big corporations, stuff like that. But I still think a lot of the lessons that he has in there are very interesting and can be applicable. I think as we go through this, I'll bring up Darren more and more, especially some of his past episodes, which I found quite interesting. I'll leave a link in the description to the video that inspired me to make this video today. If you like this video, click the like button. If you like our content, don't forget to subscribe. Leave it in the comments below. What of these 7 signs have you shown within the past week or two? And how are you going to use the tips I gave you to fix that, or at least improve upon the sign that you're displaying? Like, say, for instance, you're overly angry. How are you going to check your temper this coming week? So other than that, this is the end of another day of the PNN Progress broadcast, and I will see you tomorrow.